What is going on, guys? Today is Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024. I am your host, Michael, and if you guys are joining us for the first time, man, this is LSU Recruiting HQ where we break things down for LSU athletics. If you're not already, and this might be your first time watching, if this is your first time watching, man, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. That's all we require, you know? We don't require paid stuff. I'm just a guy giving my opinions out here, and we're here to talk about LSU. This is the most craziest time of the year. Like a lot of people think, like January, February, like that is like the downtime. But man, things like go under the radar that happen in January and February that lead to success in September, October, November. Like this is the time, right, where people are building their rosters. So many things in college football are changing by the second. Like, it is so hard to keep track of this stuff. Like, I don't know, man. College football is just in a wild place right now. It is literally, when they say it's the Wild Wild West, they are not lying, man. It is absolutely ridiculous right now. And LSU is putting on a clinic with coaching hires. Recruiting is at an all-time high for LSU football program as a whole. Like that is a real sentence. Like you heard that right. Like the 2025 LSU football recruiting class has the chance to be an all-time great recruiting class, not only in LSU history, but college football history. Like that's the kind of production we're talking about for your LSU Tigers on the recruiting trail right now. Like this month alone, you've signed 2 5 stars. Oh, excuse me. I don't know. We'll count Dominic McKinley uh, as being technically he committed at like the 11th hour of 2023, right? As we're moving into 2024, though, you get Dominic McKinley on board, you get Harlem Berry on board for 2025, and the crown jewel of them all, you get Bryce Underwood. So LSU is doing it all and more in recruiting, and that is not the only thing LSU's got going for them right now. LSU has finally found its coaching staff. Now, a lot of people have been worried, right? Including myself, right? Because LSU has gone along, like you haven't heard anything about offensive coordinator hires, which really made me kind of confident that it was going to be an internal hire, but I didn't know what they were going to do, right? Um, that whole scenario of co-offensive coordinator, I didn't know how that thing was going to work. But obviously, Brian Kelly's got an idea for how things are going to go to replace Mike Denbrock. And I understand why he did it. I understand why he didn't really even. I'm sure they considered things under the radar, but I can understand why they were more tempted to make this decision because you look at the defensive side of the ball, and it was a complete overhaul. Like, it's going to be a complete scheme change. The entire coaching staff changed. So you don't want to go into a season with expectations like LSU always has, having to change things so much on both sides of the ball. I understand why they did what they did, and that is Joe Sloan and Cortez Hankton are going to be co-offensive coordinators for the 2024 season, just like they were in the bowl game. You really kind of and what I think that entails is more of one guy's going to be in the booth, one guy's going to be on the field, right? So during the bowl game or during the season, right? Joe Sloan is in the box. He's always been up in the box. That is not. I doubt that changes now, right? Cortez Hankton always been on the field guy, wide receivers coach. He was always on the field. I don't think that's going to change. I think that's kind of how they want this thing to play out. I think they want to get Cortez's input into the system, right? And they want to use Joe Sloan's experience as a play caller to kind of co-opt that thing together because both are capable of doing the job. And I'm fully confident, and with the personnel that they got and with the talent of these two young coaches, like they're going to get the job done, and LSU's offense is going to be completely fine. So happy about that. Brian Kelly announces that today. If you're just now hearing about that, so Joe Sloan and Cortez Hankton are both going to be co-offensive coordinators. Yes, that is what is going on right now. Co-offensive coordinators, right? On the defensive side of the ball, you've shored up everything. in my eyes at least. You've got the best of the best coming in on defense. Obviously, everybody knows by now, Blake Baker, your defensive coordinator, a guy who was at LSU who did tremendous things for LSU. And now you top that with hiring probably the best two defensive line coaches that you can possibly hire. Um, you get a guy like Bo Davis from Texas to come in and take the job at LSU. Like, that is an unreal hire. Probably the most important hire of this offseason was Bo Davis for the defensive line. Like, that is how important that position hire was, because if you're LSU, you've been going through this revolving door of defensive line coaches, and that is a position you have struggled in the last couple years. You need some type of continuity there that you just haven't been getting, and Bo Davis is that guy. Bo Davis is one of the best in the country, not only at recruiting, but teaching fundamentals, and I expect a tremendous improvement from LSU when they get bodies in there, because I don't think they're done in the transfer portal getting defensive linemen and guys like that. So look for the springtime to see Bo Davis do his thing, because that is coming. That cannot be the question mark that it's been the last couple years with what has gone down with the entire thing, right? And that defensive line has been a roller coaster ride. You get a guy like Jamar Cain who does a great job, and then he leaves after 1 year. It's just been a revolving door. Then you have the thing with Jimmy Lindsey, and a tough break for him. He has health problems, but I think that's all shored up now, right? And then one that everybody's been questioning, right? Corey Raymond, DBU, the Godfather, man, the guy who has been able to maintain and create this legacy for LSU that no other university can claim, because it would just be false. Corey Raymond took over LSU, adopted some talent, but he kept that tradition going, and guys come to play defensive back at LSU because of him. And that is a real thing. Like, go look at the numbers. Go look at the guys he's put in the NFL, and you tell me that guy can't coach. That stuff doesn't happen overnight. That kind of stuff doesn't, it translates. Like, you get guys in here, and the coaching part becomes a heck of a lot easier when you got guys that are 4 and 5 stars and guys who can now, this first year is going to be Corey Raymond's prove it. Like, do you still got it type thing, because things are getting to the point where it's got to be a must change, and you can't continue the track that you're on with having to get guys out of the portal like you've been getting, because that is not a way to sustain success. And I think Corey Raymond is going to bring that. He's going to recruit better. He's going to develop the guys that are coming in now, and you're not going to have to dip into the portal every year to get 2 or 3 cornerbacks, because that room's going to be shored up, right? That being said, Corey Raymond is going to be the secondary coach, so no safeties coach that I'm looking at right now. Oh, I lied. Jake Olson is going to be the safeties coach, a guy with tons of experience, a guy who was at Missouri with Blake Baker, a guy with Louisiana ties. He had time at Northwestern State, Nichols, ULM, all kinds of places, so he knows the state, and just a tremendous job of Blake Baker and Brian Kelly sitting down and putting together one of the best defensive staffs in the country. You get a guy in Kevin Peoples, who, now when a list came out preseason of the best defensive line coaches in the country, and number 1 was Bo Davis and number 2 was Kevin Peoples, and LSU has both of them on staff now. It's to my knowledge as of right now that Kevin Peoples is going to be the ends coach, like a pass rushing specialist type guy. So you're talking about 2 of the best guys at their position, or at their position group, splitting that unit up, and getting the best of both worlds. So I'm super excited to see the development of that position and what that ends up leading into um, with the coaching stuff. So that being said, everything recruiting wise right now, 2024, I think it's kind of wrapped up, guys. I don't see. I know a lot of people are like Ryan Williams, Terry Bussey. I'm not on that train. I don't think LSU's going to end up with either one of them. Terry Bussey still has a visit to LSU planned, so things could definitely change in that regard. Ryan Williams took an official visit midweek to LSU, but I actually think he's going to end up sticking with Bama. I don't think LSU's really in the mix for that one. Yeah, they got a visit. Yeah, they're there, but they're not there, if that makes any sense. But for 2025, that's where things get interesting. Um, you have a real shot, like a real shot of getting the number one class in the country for 2025. Like that's a real thing. You have guys all over the state of Louisiana that have yet to commit yet. You have superstar guys that are going to want to play with the superstar guys you already got. You have the number one quarterback. You have the number one ranked wide receiver in Decorian Moore. And you have the number one running back in Harlan Berry. And you signed 6 offensive linemen this year. So, like, yeah, that's pretty attractive if you're, I don't know, maybe a wide receiver and you're looking at Brian Thomas and you're looking at Malik Neighbors going the first round of the NFL draft this year. Or maybe you want to play offensive line for the best quarterback in the country. Or maybe you just want to say, hey, look at all those guys they got on offense. If I go play defense there, man, we have a chance to win a national championship. And that's what you're gonna start seeing. Like you're gonna start seeing guys that you didn't even think were in the mix that are gonna start popping up for LSU because LSU can take their time now and really evaluate and go get the big fish out there, right? They don't have to go out there and settle and go, get a guy they might have to develop. Like they can go big game hunting, and that's what they're gonna do. Like this 2025 class is gonna be loaded. It's just a matter of who and when and where because the guys are gonna come. Like I said, it's just a matter of when and where and what's going on with all that stuff. So that being said, man, that's all I got for you guys today. If you're not already, man, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We got LSU basketball this week, a huge week. Men's basketball taking on Georgia tomorrow. We got LSU women's basketball versus South Carolina on Thursday at the PMAC. College game day is going to be there. It's going to be a blast, man. And I can't wait to watch it. I know you guys can't either. You guys have a great rest of y'all's work week. And I will see you guys again soon.